How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Needed Conversations once again. For this conversation, I had the chance to speak with my friend Erick. What you're about to listen is such an epic and good conversation. I can't wait for you to listen to it. Don't forget to subscribe, to leave a comment, and let me know what you think, okay? So I'll see you at the end of this episode. Welcome back again to Needed Conversations. For this episode, I got Erick Quan again with me. And today, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
But before that, I know probably if you've seen these videos before, you probably saw him and know who he is. But for those who is the first time watching Needed Conversations, I want you to introduce yourself.
Yep. Well, I am right now a graduate student. I'm going to be graduating soon, God willing. Actually, it's still a year, but as a clinical psychologist. I love studying the Word of God. When things don't make sense, I like making sense out of it, or at least trying to understand why God did certain things.
Right.
And fun fact, if I do this a lot, it's because Asian people do that a lot. So,
And he's just half Asian.
yeah, I'm just the, I'm just the, just the copy.
Not the copy, the low quality. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no. We have a pretty interesting relationship when we, how do you say that? Roast each other all the
Yeah,
time.
pretty much. It would suck. I think, and like I said in the previous video, we started seeing each other working out. So that was tough, and yeah, I complained a lot, but I always finish my workouts.
That's true. That's true. I was like, Erick, stop complaining. And he was like, I'll complain, but I'll finish. And I was like, all right.
Yep.
I guess that's fine. Plus, you helped me keep, stay awake.
Yep.
And well, so for this episode, what we want to talk about is what are some questions we should ask when we're starting to date someone.
All right.
And I know you started recently to date someone.
Correct.
And we were talking, and you were telling me how at some point she was asking you some pretty tough questions, and you did to ask some hard questions to her, but you were telling me that their relationship would have been the same if it wasn't for those questions, right?
Yes.
And so, what are some of those questions, and why do you think they're important?
Yeah. Well, first question that the person needs to ask themselves is this just a fling, or am I wanting to commit long-term marriage? Why? Because, especially guys, because I feel, and people may say, that's old-fashioned. I don't care, but guys should pursue the girl. So am I pursuing this girl for just feel good?
Right. Or for the looks?
For the looks, correct, yeah. Or I really like her, even if it's just visually, and that's okay. But you're gonna pursue her to get to know her more, and God willing, marriage.
Right.
Into the future. I'm not saying that it has to be within a month, which some people have, which I don't, I'm like, whoa. But
right, people take it to the extreme sometimes.
correct. So that's the thing. So that's the first question you should ask yourself. Same with the girl. The girl needs to ask, do I see a possibility, a future?
Right.
Once you get past that and be like, I see a future, or I'm really interested in her, then this is the hardest part. Assuming that you have become friends with her, that you have interacted with her, because I've heard people that they have done none of those and then they immediately jump into intense things. I told them you should have built trust. Try to build at least a friendship trust. Right. I know people are afraid of the friend zone, but I'm like, dude, if...
There's nothing wrong, I think, with friend zone. Because,
yeah.
This is how I see it. And you might agree or disagree. But there's nothing really to lose, If you're not going to be a friend first and then realize, okay, I like this girl, then try something, then you shouldn't be afraid of the friend zone, because you were basically already there.
Yeah.
If you're trying to jump into something more out of nowhere, like you barely know this girl and you want to already make it, official, it's like,
Yeah.
Correct. is this the bachelors or what
Yeah.
the heck, you know? Like,
Literally. And that's the thing, yeah, that is very true. Because at least I tell guys, like, dude, be confident.
right.
If she rejects you, well, heck, that doesn't remove any value.
She's gonna regret it because of your confidence.
Yeah. But I tell you, like, it's not going to remove any value from you.
Right.
And of course, it won't remove any value from her as well. Same with the girl. I told them, like, and it's okay. It sucks to be rejected, but that's the whole, at least on my part, that's the fun part. Of course, I feel bad at times. I feel embarrassed, sad, and all
Right.
those things, but that's what makes it exciting, because when the girl says yes, then you're like, heck yeah, then I gotta take advantage of these things. So, example, becoming her friend. I was like, all right, she likes me, I can move forward and starting to get to know her. At least with my girlfriend, it took me around 8 months to become her friend. I wouldn't see, because I didn't want to make it awkward either.
Right.
Always being there.
What a patient man.
Yeah, and that's, for guys, you have to be patient.
Right.
There's no easy way to approach a girl. If you're patient and you're willing to put the time, they'll appreciate that.
Right.
Not all of them. And if they don't appreciate your patience, I don't think she's the one. It means she wants to rush through things.
Right.
And when it becomes a relationship, little things that require patience, it's gonna blow up out of proportion.
Right.
So, but one of the things that we realized with her was, because our first date was terrible.
Tell us a little bit about it.
I was excited because we went to a gun range. She said, like, she wanted to. I was like, that's great.
She ended up shooting a man. The guy died.
Yeah, literally. I'm kidding. But it was fun. The reason why I say it was fun is because we did something together. We later on talked, but one of the first things that I told her was, don't be afraid to ask me anything, because I have nothing to hide.
Right.
But be careful with what you ask, because I'm going to be honest with my answers.
Right.
And if there's something you don't wanted to know at the moment you weren't ready, then you'll find out.
You were like, girl, if you know you're a little bit overweighted, then don't ask me.
And even those questions we've discussed about, like how
Really?
to approach those things.
Man.
And of course, I made her feel bad for like 10 minutes, but we resolved by communicating. And that was the first thing we realized. The first date was terrible because her communication style was different than mine. What do I mean by that? I talk, and I'm waiting for you to say something in addition to what I'm talking about,
Right.
or something in relation to how it applies to your
The
life.
Hispanic boy.
Correct.
Whoa, she's Hispanic too.
But she's Hispanic too, but raised differently.
Right.
Because she thinks that's rude. If I talk over you,
Right.
that's rude, and interrupting is mean. I didn't know that. So I realized that throughout the whole first date, I was the only one talking, and I would ask something of her or questions to her, and she would answer the question but not expand on it, which I didn't know that I had to be like, oh, but what about this? What about that? I had to help her expand.
Right.
I naturally, and also AG, and naturally we expand on what we want to talk about.
Right.
And we jump in whenever we feel, oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
Right.
It was-
I feel like every time we see each other, we gotta be careful and see if we have time.
Correct.
Because we will be talking there for hours
Yep.
if we could.
And that's the thing with girls. Of course, they're gonna out-talk guys. They're more expressive, and maybe not all girls.
Yeah.
But because some girls, of course, are introverted, but once you get them talking, get that confidence, it's good because you get to know the person even more.
Right.
So we laughed, or at least I laughed, and I told her, like, it was terrible first date. It was sad because I thought it was pretty good. She said, no, it was cute. I was like, no, that's a lie. You're just saying that
Didn't
because...
you tell me once that she didn't want to talk to you anymore after that?
Correct.
And you tell us that part because I think that's pretty interesting.
So, like I said, communication styles were different. And we're still figuring out on a lot of things in how to communicate with each other. For example, that one time, she got upset with me about something. Oh, we usually say goodnight like around 9 p.m. But I just lost track of time. It was 9:30. But I could see how everything in her had changed. Previous to that, I had asked her, if you're upset, how do you want me to approach you? To ask you what's wrong, or to just let you be until you tell me? She used to laugh and she said, like, I really don't know, but she had told me stories about how she would react with her mother or sister, and that's what they would do, just leave her be. And that's what I did. I just let her be. Next morning, I came. She didn't say hi to me or hug me. We usually hug, and she went straight to the bathroom to put on her makeup. I went and I was gonna hug her, and she literally just told me. She didn't say hi, good morning, or anything. She just said, why don't you go sit on the couch? So I laughed in my head, because of course if I laugh out loud, she's gonna get even more upset. We were driving to church. Literally for 30 minutes, she was still quiet, and maybe 20 minutes later, she decided to tell me what was wrong. She apologized, and I said, like, it's okay. I mean, I hope you just don't think I didn't want to deal with it, because this is how you manage when you're upset. And I'd rather go that route than me asking you and then you getting upset even more.
Right.
So those things. So that's one of the questions that I asked. How do I manage you? She was brutal when she got interested in me, because she started asking me, what are my thoughts in marriage? What are my thoughts about dating? What about my thoughts of even courting, which is previous to dating? We had different definitions for dating. For me, if I go out on a date, I'm not dating the person. I just went out on a date.
Right.
So we had to define those things so we could be in the same understanding. As well as she asked me even how many kids I want to have. What if one of her concerns were what if I get a doctorate degree and she doesn't? I told her it doesn't bother me. She asked me, what are your expectations about marriage? And one of the things, and I tell her, like, honestly, you got to be careful with it, because of course on my life I told her I don't have expectations, because if I have expectations, it has to be this way, then the girl will start comparing herself.
Right.
So I said, no expectations, we'll deal it as it goes. She even asked me so many things. How do you deal, she referred the question back to me, how do you deal with anger, confrontation, what do you do? All those things that you have to study yourself. Like if you have pet peeves, ask the person, how do you handle like a pet peeve? Why? Because those are the things, like when you're mostly stressed, which you're gonna be, the person needs to know ahead of time. Because even the most awkwardest questions, I think the most awkward question that I've asked her was, all right, I've had a lot of friends that are girls. One of the first things that I realized that I needed to find out after a while was, when's their time of the month? Because when their period comes, they may get too emotional, too angry, or too emotional, oh, everything is sad. And I had a friend who she would get very angry. And I told her, like, all right, for a whole week, I'm not gonna see you.
Dang.
Why? Because it would stress me and it would stress her out. And I didn't want her to apologize for something that...
It's natural.
Yeah. So I did that, even ask her that. How do you want me to approach you during that week or whatever it is? How do you want me to know? Because I don't like fighting. I don't like arguing by yelling. Let's just talk about it and let's resolve it. If something went wrong, let's readjust. So all those things, are you, and she also asked, like, are you, of course she wanted to make sure that I wasn't prideful, like if I'm okay with being wrong.
Right.
If I'm okay by someone telling me negative things, all those things. But yet again, I tell everyone, like, this is based on a goal, which is marriage.
Right.
People have asked me, when are you guys gonna get married? I don't know. Because we just, they asked me that when we were only dating 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I told them, like, I really don't know, guys. Like, we just started dating. Like, we can't focus too much on the future because we still have a lot of things to sort out.
Right.
So when it comes even more to a godly relationship, it's super awkward, but you gotta open up. Especially guys, it would be great if guys lead on this is, when it comes to sexual temptation. What's good or bad? Setting those limits, those boundaries.
Right.
Hey, are you easily seduced by just having sex immediately? Are you easily seduced by just putting a lot of thoughts into your head about doing things to gain something? Like, oh, if I do this for you, I mean, you gotta do something for me. Like all those things.
And I think it's really important to acknowledge your weaknesses and be able to communicate that.
Yep.
Because you never know, they might do something without even thinking, and like their intention was never wrong.
Right.
But they did it and they triggered something in your mind, and then you're like, man, now I'm feeling either tempted or feeling sad, feeling bad because of past experiences or something. And just, you gotta be, clear and honest and be like, hey, I've been through this, I'm just letting you know, because
literally
I need help,
yeah,
it's like we both walk together, we
Yeah.
both run together, so like
correct.
we have to know each other,
Yep. And that's one of the things that I also told her, because she has her issues, I have my issues, but I needed to know if she was working out her issues.
Right.
And I told her like, hey, I'm going to counseling because of this. Then she said that she had gone to counseling in the past, but then she replied, but I'll go again because now my schedule is free. And even before we started dating, that was one of my things that I told her. You go to counseling, I go to counseling, and then we'll figure out if this is gonna work between us. It sucked, definitely, but I had to put that because if not, she can become a burden to my life, or I can become a burden to her life. And that's not fun. Dating's supposed to be fun.
Right.
Yes, you're gonna have rough edges and then you have to sort all those things out, but nothing that will remove the joy from actually dating that person.
Right. And I mean, I guess, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the main idea of the dating season is for you to get to know that person, to see if you're actually gonna marry them.
Yeah. Correct.
And where, I know you haven't been through this because you're still dating this girl, but like, what would you say, or when would you say is a good time to end a relationship, that a dating time? And it doesn't have to be because they cheated on you or, something bad happened. Like maybe you realize little things that aren't connecting with, the future,
Yeah.
You don't see yourself with that person anymore or something like that. What would you say to someone that's in that position?
When?
Yeah.
Well, the moment you feel that it is not gonna work out, immediately, and always do it in person.
Right. And not going around it.
Correct. Yeah, because you're just dragging, and it'll become literally a huge weight over your shoulders. It's better to just complete honest, because at the end of the day, like no matter what you do, you're still gonna hurt their feelings.
Right.
But that's it. Like
it's just natural.
yeah,
Something
it's
that
gonna
happens.
happen. But it's worse to keep dragging it along and along. Why? Because one, it destroys your life, and then you're putting false hopes on this person, which is also just terrible. So it's always better to confront and be like, hey, because I don't know how long has it been, and it's tough. It's never easy. At least with my girlfriend, what I do is, because it allowed her to express herself more, we write things down and we give them to the other one, and then that's how we started. Now we're changing more into like person to person, but that's how we started. Of course, I'm not saying that you may have that ability, but if you know the person well enough, you may be able to know how to approach it.
Right.
Because everybody knows the moment a guy receives like, hey, I want to talk to you about something, it's not good most of the time. So, or at least sometimes, but I don't think that guy can be that oblivious to know that there's something wrong in the relationship.
Right.
But yeah, I would tell the person like immediately go for it. Why? Because the more you prolong it, the worse it gets, or the harder it gets.
Right. And I think that might sound like a cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
The longer you wait, the harder it gets.
Yeah.
And that's for pretty much everything. But specifically in a relationship with when something's not working out, and you both try to work it out, but it just didn't work out. Sometimes that happens.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just life.
Yep.
Then you have to make the decision of, actually breaking the things up
Yep.
as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because the sooner you do it, the sooner you heal, and then you can move on. You know.
Yeah, literally.
But-
And honestly, just go through, like, question-wise, just go through all the things that you like and ask them, does this bother you?
Right.
But obviously, do it in a, like, both have to be in that understanding.
Right.
Because some guys may get intimidated and some girls may get intimidated if you do all those things.
Right.
Because she even asked me, like, is it okay for me to keep hanging out with my guy friends? I was like, okay, yeah. Is it okay even, she asked me my goals and dreams. And we have different goals and dreams. But I told her, like, on my opinion, said I don't mind if it's different. Why? Because for me, it doesn't change anything. I'll support your dreams. And if there's a time that we have to decide one dream or the other, I told her, for me, that's not an option. But what we could do is we would balance it. Which one's more possible now?
Right.
If your dream is more possible, then I'll go and support your dream. And then maybe later down in the future, then I can do mine.
Right.
But it's never about giving up all hopes and dreams for that person, because that's not healthy.
Right.
It's about being there for each other.
Right.
And being truthful. And one of the things that time does, because girls tend to be more inclined to this, is, do I trust this person?
Right.
So if you're a girl, for me, is the more you make them wait and the longer they stay, then the more worthwhile they are.
Right.
Because if a guy wants something quick, then everything he asks is gonna wanna be quick.
Right.
I want this, and it'll eventually, which I can't say it's not true, but I'm almost 100% true that if a guy is not careful, they're gonna eventually move past so many things quickly that they wanna have sex immediately, and
Right.
that's just a whole lot of chaos when it comes to
Right.
emotions and attachment.
Right. Well, that's pretty cool stuff. Just to finish the conversation, because it's been a few minutes already. I just want you to tell us or give us some advice, or tell, what would you tell people that are starting a relationship? What would be your, general advice to them?
Yeah. Well, if you're a Christian, definitely have godly mentors who teach you how to treat the man or how to treat the woman. If you're not a Christian, you can still have really great people that can give you sound advice. Why? Because a relationship can be tough.
Right.
And at least for Christians, we have that reliability with the Word of God, the Bible, and how to treat each other. And if you do those things, you learn how 1 Corinthians 13, how you should be towards your spouse, how you should be towards your significant other. And you have the support of others to tell you, hey, it's going to be okay, be patient. Age definitely brings wisdom. So parents, other people in relationships who are older in age.
Grandpas.
Yeah.
I think they were so ready to talk. I've had so many good talks with my grandpa, where I just come ask little things and he tells me this like crazy stories. I'm like, man.
And you learn from them. Yeah. You learn from them, and that's wisdom that you need.
Right.
So for me, is find those people that can help you build a godly relationship that can honor God.
That's good. Well, Eric, thank you so much for being here again, for accepting my invitation again.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for staying till the end of this video. I hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed it. And please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Maybe you agree or disagree, and we would like to know about it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And we'll see you here the next time.
Yeah, and share it.
See ya. Well, thank you so much for being here again. Thanks for staying till the end of this video. I hope it was a great experience for you. You enjoyed it and liked it, and this conversation helped your life. I ask you and encourage you again, if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, to like it, leave a comment with your thoughts, and also please share with some friends that you know might need this conversation. So thank you so much again. Don't forget, if you're listening to this through podcast, please don't forget to leave a review, because that's gonna help me to take it to the next level. All right, thank you guys. Have a good one.